கலை மனிதனாக பிறந்த ஒவ்வொருவனும் அள்ளி அள்ளி பருக வேண்டிய அமிர்தமடாது.
You have full-time course here?
Yes.
Every day you have classes and all that? No. Huh? Weekends. Weekends. That means you can practice some other profession and then come and join the course. You have the course all the day during the weekends or only in the evenings?
Full day, sir.
Full day. Both Saturday, Sunday?
Saturday, full sir.
I see. And you are paying a fees?
No.
No? How can they give you free education? That too professional. People are charging lakhs, you know.
Yes.
Just imagine. It has become a business now. Everybody back home also, in Kerala also, everybody is starting a film school. It has become the kind of new business now. And charging so much, unimaginable fees. And the people cannot afford it. How do you manage to give them free education, free training? You should. I know part of the movement, but then you can. I would suggest you can charge a nominal fees. Of course, it should not be. You should not be making profit out of it. You should not have any profit motive behind. But then, those who make use of this facility, they should also feel it has a value. Don't give it free. I'm giving wrong advice? No, nothing should be given free. Especially professional knowledge. They should not think that it is for free. It's very important that you see, it's also part of their struggle. You cannot just come and attend a course and just go and make a film. You should not think like that. You should be prepared. If you have decided to be a filmmaker, then you have to really devote all your time to it. That means a certain sacrifice. You have to give up something else. Because what happens is, as professionals, they should get professional advice also, no doubt. No, it's very important. They should know exactly what they want to pursue, and during the course or after the course, if you feel like deserting it, it's not a bad idea. But if you still feel enthused that you should pursue this, then you should. It means a lot of sacrifice. It's not that easy. So good that some of you have a degree, engineering degree, postgraduate degree, and all that. So the advantage is that you, after a time, you find that there is a testing time where the assessment has to go both ways. Others should judge you, and you yourself should judge yourself. So in that process, if you find yourself not fit for this, then you should quit. And you have a professional degree and qualification to fall back on. So they should look for some job somewhere else. Otherwise, what happens is you should not spoil your life by expecting that something will happen. Somebody, someday will come and ask you to make a film. It doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. With all the qualification, it took 7 years for me to make my first film after my graduation. I was the most qualified person in the country to make a film. So I had 2 postgraduate degrees in screenplay writing and direction from India's premier institution. But nobody cared. It took 7 years. But then I was not wasting that time, 7 years. I started a whole film society movement back in Kerala. And then this was in 1965, July 1965 it started. And with friends all over the state, we did film festivals. Then film societies were, in 10 years time, we had film societies all over the state. So this meant that a new awareness and an awareness about a cinema outside their own familiarity. What they normally, back in Kerala, what they used to get was Tamil films and Malayalam films. So this was all the cinema for them. So suddenly, there's many people who are my friends, who are otherwise very qualified, some playwrights, some novelists, some of them even cartoonists, and employed somewhere else for their livelihood. But they were all attracted to cinema, and then some of them turned out to be very good in the profession. So the kind of films that you make depends on the kind of exposure you get in your formative period in terms of cinema. So I'm very sure that the Tamil studio will show you, even otherwise it is accessible. All the classics are now accessible in terms of DVDs and all that. You can buy them, and you can keep a library of those. If those of you who can afford it should keep them and keep watching. Great classics, they are all available in the market. It is there. Even my own films, I once got somebody to buy for me a smuggled copy of one of my DVDs. I didn't have any copies with me, so I asked somebody to buy it from the Burma Bazaar. He got it for me. So even smuggled ones, it's okay. As long as you can watch it, it's fine. Most of them are smuggled. As soon as it gets some international recognition, these films are immediately duped and distributed everywhere. So there is a whole big underground market for these films. It's not only for the commercial ones, it's for the artistic ones also, because there is a huge crowd of people wanting to see a different kind of cinema. So that is one thing. Second is to read about these films. Read about, especially your aim should be very high. Don't try to duplicate a Tamil film or a Malayalam film or any Hollywood or films like that. Don't think you should make films like that. In fact, that is one advantage when you see real film classics. And all through these years, there have been real great films made in different languages, in different countries. In India also, you have to, very importantly, you have to see all the films of Satyajit Ray, all the films of Ruti Katak, all the films of Manal Sen. And when you come to Hindi cinema, you must see all the films of Shyam Benegal, Said Mirza. It is a bit difficult, but then you must also see Manikaul, Kumar Shahani, and films like Govind Dehlani's earlier films particularly. So you must see, very important to see the best of Indian cinema, very important. And these films are available, most of them are available with subtitles in English if you don't follow the language. That will be one part. But then when I was a student in institute, I remember someone said, while here you should see films, read films, dream films, eat films, then you can produce your own cinema. The advantage of seeing great films is that you find yourself enthused, excited about something very beautiful. That's a beautiful experience. Cinema has this great advantage, unlike literature. Literature, you have to go through several pages. You have to patiently sit down and read it. All the, some of the great works are, they run into several pages, But cinema, it's just happening just before you. It's in the present. Even when it is set in the past, cinema is happening before you in the present as you watch it. So the visuals, the sounds, all that will lead you into an experience which is very unique. So that is one part. And then there are several books on filmmakers talking about their own work. Like Bergman on Bergman, like that. There are important filmmakers. Even Hitchcock was interviewed. There's a very interesting book written by one of the leading figures of the New Wave in France. Suddenly they were discovering Hitchcock as a very important film creator. So Hitchcock was very unique, in fact. So these French New Wave people, people who were all these people. It was Truffaut who did this long interview with Hitchcock and produced a book. It's very interesting to read it. If you have seen films of Hitchcock, it's very important to see them, because at that time he did several experiments. Like in the old, today you may not understand that one film roll was maximum a camera could hold was 1,000 feet. So 1,000 feet means it's 900 feet is how many minutes? 900 feet is 10 minutes. So you have 1,000 feet means you have 11 minutes. So even if you wanted, you cannot make a shot. You cannot take a shot for more than 11 minutes. So what he did was, each roll of 1,000 feet, he made it into one shot. So his film was composed of 5 or 6 reels like that, and he had planned everything inside a room. Film was called The Rope. It's about a murder, very interesting, And then the camera moves, the whole roll is going on, and then even these 10-11 minutes, you will not notice that it was 11 minutes and it was one shot. The next shot is so cleverly introduced, you will not even know that the shot has changed. So it is a masterpiece, like that he has done several things, like experiments with sound, all that. So otherwise Hitchcock was just a very successful commercial filmmaker from Hollywood, but then these people discovered him as a genius. Like this it can happen. Even the history of cinema, if you look at the history of cinema, it was basically discovered, the theory of cinema was really written by the Russians. What was their basis? The films made in the US, in Hollywood, which was not Hollywood yet. It was, the films were being made in Los Angeles. What they used to do in America in those days was, in those days there was no electricity, nothing, So there was no question of lighting up any scene. So they went to a place where in US called Los Angeles. It's almost a desert-like place, very dry and very, very sunny most of the year. So they went to that place and found that most of the year they could get sunlight. So that was the reason why they started making films there. And then, of course, when electricity came, slowly it started changing. But that's how films were shot at that time. So they would have definitely used reflectors. They would have definitely used not direct sun. They would have done some screen, something possible. But then that's how the films started getting shot. So people wonder why of all places Los Angeles. So I was there last month. So when you travel around Los Angeles, I had gone there long back also, 1969, when most of you are not born. I have been there. I have been to some of those studios, where they have retained, particularly of tourist interest, is Universal Studios, where you find this set on which Hitchcock shot one particular film, and I forget. And then there are demonstrations of how shooting was done, etc. Today, people wouldn't imagine any of those preparations was necessary in today's work. You don't need all that. Even lighting has been brought to the minimum in today's with video technology. So under very, very poor lighting conditions, you can shoot a film. It's not necessary, As we sit and talk here, the video can be shot and it will have a clear picture. So the concept of recording and getting a shot has changed. It has undergone a sea change But the filmmaking was very, very, very complex in those days, because first of all you had to shoot the film like that, and the material that you shoot is called the film negative. Then it has to go to a laboratory, it has to be processed there, and after processing it has to be printed onto what in those days you call it rushes. That means unedited shots, printed. So you start working with these rushes, and then when you want to have sound, well, then that's also in those days when the sound came in. I have seen this when I joined the Film Institute. At that time there were 2 cameras running at the same time. They were locked together, and when the film camera starts, the sound also will start. And in those days, before the sound came, all the old films, if you look at, they were all shot at 16 frames per second. Okay, when the sound came at 16 frames per second, at that speed sound will not be properly reproduced. So they had to make it 24 frames per second. And the sound, since it's so what they did was they to have this together. Even if you see the projector, this is old technology. You don't have to know. In the projector, you find the sound is some 24 frames ahead of the picture. So then only it will produce the sound, properly. And in sync. That means when somebody is talking, the sound has to be with that. So all these technological developments went on, and then there are, from decade to decade, cinema has been changing slowly. Then came a situation in the last 10-15 years. Suddenly everything changed. So you don't need to have a negative at all. You don't go to the lab. There is nothing to process. So what you have is digital images, which you immediately after you shoot, you can just play it back and see. And it has its advantages and disadvantages also, because the digital technology has not yet got the same quality as the old film. When you watch a digital film, if you are experienced, you can say this is recorded on digital technology. So this is the big difference. But then it is being perfected, I must say, because you hear about 2K, 4K and all that. See, as the registration is getting better, you call it measure it in terms of this illumination and registration. It is approximating the film image. So soon they will do it. In fact, the advantage of the new technology is that in the old days, the fastest film the Kodak company had produced was 500. ASA. It is the speed of the film is measured in ASA. That is a standard measure. So the speed of the film was 500 ASA, and it would. Towards the end, actually, before they stopped the production, it came up to 1000 ASA. Even at 1000 ASA, you could not match with the speed of the digital film, disc. What we do, suppose you have to shoot a sequence at time of the dusk, and then there are lights coming. There is also the daylight, and if you want a sequence like that, you have to light up the whole street if you want to take a shot there. Today you just don't have to do any lighting. You just walk with the camera or drive from a car or do anything. It will reproduce exactly what it is in real life. So that has become a very, very convenient technology. And even in the dark you can shoot. because it will reproduce. Using this kind of so it is, and also even the material that you shoot, you can do a lot of repair to it. If you find that there is something that you do not want in your frame, it is possible to erase it. It was not possible in the past. For instance, when I was shooting my last film, I was shooting in a sequence in Dubai. So I was actually shooting the streets in Dubai, but then what I had wanted was to shoot a streets sequence in the evening, and that was to be a street in 15 years back. So when you go to shoot the scene, no street in anybody can really immediately recognize. No street is the same, no road is the same, because there have been new constructions, there have been big hoardings. Even the sheikh the old sheikh had died in the meantime, and there is a new sheikh. His large photo is everywhere. What will you do with that? So it's simple. You can erase it. I erased all the caliphs and sheikhs, and I erased all those hoardings of companies which were advertising gold and all those Joe's Jewelers and this and that. And so the street, whatever building I need, I keep there. Whatever I don't, I just erase it. So it is like that. And while I was shooting, I had even, the road was very, in some areas the road was a bit rough, because I was shooting from inside a car. So there were small jumps, little jump was there, while in the shots. So I approached a company in back in Trivandrum at the Techno Park, and they told me yes, we can try to remove it. So they just again all the shakes were taken off. How do you do that? It's a wonderful treatment. So you can shape and reshape a visual that you already shot. So the possibilities are many, and the greatest advantage is that you can release the cinema, your film, in several cinemas together. So what you do today is, that is a big advantage. You upload it to the sky, into a what do you call pardon? Not cloud. It's a satellite. From this, we have several satellites. So you just load it to a satellite, and then from there it can be beamed down to a machine kept in a theater, and it's so very convenient that it can be timed for 1 week, so many shows and things like that. So normally, so with this technology you can release it. My last film was released in some 125 cinemas, not only in Kerala but in Chennai, in Bangalore, in Delhi, Bombay, and several places. So I couldn't have imagined that was possible before this new technology came. And also to have, it was in about 125 cinemas. If I were to make prints, 125 prints, it would have cost me, a print will cost you something like 75,000 to 1 lakh. So I should have at least 1 crore investment to have these prints made. So suddenly, this became possible. So you are fortunately into this new technology, and even and about the sound also. Today the reproduction of the sound, if you go to a good cinema and watch a film, the best part is not even the picture but then the sound. because sound is so faithfully recorded, and several tracks are running. But in the old days, what we used to do was to have the sounds will be recorded, the dialogue, the background score, the incidental sounds, and the sounds you introduce separately. All these used to be recorded on several tracks and then mixed into one negative. It's called sound negative, final sound negative, and that will be printed on the print. That used to be the practice. Now there is no mixing. All the tracks are kept, each track at a particular level of listening. You keep it at that point. And in the cinemas, you have all kinds of sound systems. You can have sound from behind, from the sides, from everywhere. Although I don't like sound coming from behind, because the cinema, anyway, you are seeing it probably on one screen there. I wouldn't want cinema sound to be heard. Maybe it's all right from the screen there, from left or right, but not from behind. If somebody, like you are showing a market and you hear somebody talking behind, then I turn around and look who is talking there. So that kind of reality has no place in my films. So I would rather have it keep a perspective of the sound, because my screen is after all two-dimensional. It cannot be surround sound. But then that is a fashion. People in all the cinemas, when you go there, you hear the sound at the highest level. But that is not the concept of the sound. They want to intimidate you with the sounds. It's very wrong practice of using sound that way. Sound has to be experienced at the original perceptible level, not before, not more, not less. It should be heard. With today's technology, every small little sound can be heard. There is no need for them to, especially in our cinemas, the operator also plays a role. When the song comes, suddenly he will raise the level. We don't mind, a song being heard very loud, because anyway the song itself is rubbish. So we don't mind. So, but then real sounds have to be heard at the right level. So people don't realize that. So that is by way of introduction. Yes.
மறக்காம சப்ஸ்கிரைப் பண்ணிருங்க.